You know what? I'm so awesome. I have the whole wall from
Hey.
the what?
Higher.
First I'm going to line the board, so it's going to be on the recording, but that's the way it is.
Here's Chihuahua feather bed. No way I told you that yet. No, look at it. Oh, no.
And then you get the next chihuahua.
Run! Yay! Run! It's 17,000. One more app.
Okay, Parabolas day 2. We're just going to learn some vocabulary, okay, Matt? Jack? Okay, everybody should have a handout, or you should have an unnotability, whichever works. For some people it does, but we're going to do this here. I did not print this, but you can do a little sketch of this. Now, this is a parabola. You should have the arrows. They go forever. Okay? So, they go forever. And we have special points here. These points here where the graph crosses the x-axis is called an x-intercept. In this case, how many x-intercepts are there? There's one here, and there's one here. There's two. When you give the answers, I want them in ordered pair form, Jens. So it's A, comma, what's the y coordinate here? What's the y coordinate? What's the y coordinate on the x-axis? It's 0. Because every y coordinate when you're on the x-axis is 0. Because you're not going up or down. That's the y-intercept. Where the graph crosses the y-axis is called the x-intercept. Sorry. Y-intercept, sorry. Yes.
So, part where so I thought that the one black was called the y-intercept.
The y-intercept is where the graph crosses the y-axis, and that has an ordered pair. What's the x-coordinate on the y-intercept? No, we're not asking domain. 0, comma, b. Remember y equals mx plus b? Okay. What's the domain, since you're kind of there? What's the domain? What numbers can you put in? Anything. Okay, there's two other important points on my graph, or features. This is called the vertex. Let me slide that up. That's called the vertex, and I want that in ordered pair form. X, comma, y. Okay, Jack? You should be taking some notes on this so you know the vocabulary. Now, the good news, even though notability crashed, at least for math, I can't help you with the other classes, but I saved all these notes. And they're up on Schoology, so you still have access. If you lost all your math notes, you still have access to all the math notes. They're still there. So, then there's one other thing, and we're going to draw a line here. And there's some symmetry here. If I go through the vertex, this line should be halfway between my two intercepts, x-intercepts. And let's change that to a dotted line, and we'll make it red. And that's called the axis of symmetry. It came out okay. And that's a vertical line. Do you guys remember how to write the equation of a vertical line? Matter of fact, the vertex name, we're actually going to give it another name. We're going to call it h, comma, k. And what's the x-coordinate that this line is going through? Tim? What's the x-coordinate that this dotted line is going through? It's going through this ordered pair, which is the x-coordinate, h or k? It's h. So the equation of this is x equal to h. It's always going to be x equal to. Now, how many x-intercepts do we have to have? Do we have to have 2?
No.
I'm going to take my parabola here, and I'm going to move this parabola I just did I could have just 1. Joy, put your phone away, please. Okay, Matt? You'll have plenty of time for that. Or I could have, do I have to have any? Do I have any x-intercepts for that green parabola? No, I don't. Not only that, could I'm going to flip this upside down, and you saw some of these. That's an upside down parabola. How many x-intercepts are there on this one now? Jack, how many? Just the green. There's 2, 1, 2, or if I slide it down more, there would only be 1, or there might be none. Right. So put your phone away, please. Not right now. We're almost done. This is not a long lesson. These are the forms for parabolas. We will get into them later. I'm not going to go into them in detail now. This is a general form. This is one that's factored, and we're going to be factoring, which is why we had to be able to factor. And then this vertex form. That's why I use the H and the K, so that we'd be ready for that. So at least it's not totally unfamiliar. So, by the way, they all have x squareds in them. If I multiply x times x, I get x squared. If I square this x minus h out, then I do FOIL. I do x times x, I still get an x squared. So parabolas are always x squared. So they're going to look like this. X cubed are going to look like this, or like this. X to the 4th, my parabola is like this. X to the 4th is going to come down a little bit wider. X to the 6th gets wider yet, looks more like a TV screen. It's more rectangular as the exponents get higher. So not everything's a line. And I want to model real-life problems with different functions that are nice. And parabolas are nice. Unfortunately, it doesn't always work. So we're going to draw our axis of symmetry. The axis of symmetry is really what divides us into 2 pieces of a parabola that if I fold my paper on the axis of symmetry, they line up. Your face is somewhat symmetrical. You could take a picture of your face and cut out 1/2 of it and then make a copy of it and flip it over. You will not look the same as you do right now.
Nope.
You're not totally symmetrical. It's pretty close, but that might be interesting to see what you would look like if you use just the 1/2 side of your face and made a copy and flipped it over. There's your axis of symmetry. But I don't think anybody's symmetrical. So I'm going to put a line right here, and it's going to go right to the vertex point. It's going to go right to the lowest point. I'm going to make it a red line so we can see it. And we'll make it dotted too. And there's my axis of symmetry. What's the equation of that line? It's 2, but what's 2? Is the x 2 or is the y 2? With the x, it's there. So my axis of symmetry is x equal to 2. Now the x-intercepts, I want them in ordered pair form. What is the name of that coordinate? Is it 0, 3 or 3, 0? 3, 0. So some of you are just going to want to give me the 3. I'm not going to accept that. Okay, Jesse? I want 3, 0. What about the name of this other one? 1, 0. So this is as hard as the homework is. That's not too bad. 30 points off the plane. Now the vertex, make sure you get everything in XY form. It's alphabetical. Where's the vertex here? What's the x coordinate? No, right here. The x, I'm going to come over how many? 2. And then I'm going to go down 1. So it's 2 comma negative 1. And where's the y-intercept? The y-intercept is where this graph intersects the y-axis. It's kind of iffy, but I think we could probably take that point. Because it doesn't hit the axis here. It's coming up, it looks like it hits there. It's pretty close. It's close enough. It's an estimate. It's a really wide line for that parabola. So what's the y-intercept? Ordered pair form. These are all ordered pair. What's the x-coordinate? You're right, I've got a 3 there, but it's not the x, it's the y. It's 0, 3. Yes, it would. Same thing, these matter if you switch them around. Everything has, it has to be x equal to us, the x-coordinate. And then we could put these into a table, and so when x is 3, y is 0, x is 1, y is 0. You could graph if you had all this information. Not quite sure why the table's there, but that's okay. I just filled it in and... Oh, I'll only take... No, because there's no table on the homework. When you see it. Okay, so can you draw a picture of a parabola if I give you all of this information? That's what's on the other side of the handout. So the axis of symmetry is x equal to 3. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. It says x is 3, and I want a vertical line. Axis of symmetry is a vertical line. So it's going to come right through here. I did that right? Okay. And I'm going to change my color. And there it is. And then I graph the x-intercept, which are at 1, 0, and you guys can do that. Graph 1, 0, and 5, 0. Well, yours isn't very straight. No, not down here. It's supposed to be 3. It's tilted. It has to be vertical. Yeah, that looks better, doesn't it? Yeah, that's going to be okay. So you have 1, 0, 1, 0 here. And guess what? The axis of symmetry is exactly halfway between the x-intercepts. Where's the other one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that halfway? The axis of symmetry is halfway, and then put the vertex in there. So draw your axis of symmetry. It's x equal to 3. Yeah, draw it. This is what you have to do in the homework. Oh, you know the ability works? Oh, that's nice. Yeah. Hopefully everything will be fixed by tomorrow. I don't know. Jesse, you need to work on that. He's going to be famous forever. Don't forget to draw the vertical line. There you go. Hannah, you doing okay over there? Yeah, but it's curved. They're not straight lines. Again, they're not straight lines. Okay, so the y vertex is at 3, -4. The vertex is going to be on the axis of symmetry. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is going to go through 0, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they're not straight lines. They're curved. If they're straight, they're wrong. No, there's no ruler for this. What? This one says the y-intercept is 0, 5. These are good enough, really. The vertex and the two intercepts are probably good enough. Should be a curve. Yeah, that's right. And then 5 is up here.
What?
0, 5 is up on the y-axis.
That was 0, 5.
No, that's 3, -4. That's 3, -4. The vertex is the lowest point or the highest point, depending on how this is. Okay? And then you tell me what the domain and range is. And I catch up. That's sports authority. Yeah. Get rid of those other lines. You don't have an eraser? And put in 0, 5. India, did you get it all done? Good. What about the domain and range? Yeah, what's the domain? Because you know what? What's the domain for every single one of these problems? -infinity to infinity. I hope we don't get that wrong because they're all the same. This one you can't, how can you get this wrong? -infinity to infinity. You could say any real number. That works too. I don't care. It communicates to me you know what you're doing. Now what about the range? What's the lowest point on the graph? Count. 1, 2, 3, 4.
4.
Now, do I get to include the 4? Is 4 on my graph? Yes, it is. Because it's right there on the graph.
Oh, wait. For the vertex to go 3 is down.
Yes. Good. Okay, that needs to be a bracket, not a parentheses. Oops, it's -4. Thank you, Janice. And then, because I just counted the 4, forgot where I was. And then you want, oh, I don't want that. Then you want this. Where are these guys going? The y values are going up forever, right? So this is going to go between -4 and infinity.
Okay, mine is
Do what? What kind of science? Oh, yeah, that was good. You could do an infinity like this, a 0 and a 0. That's infinity. That looks a little better. It's an 8 on the side. Turn your paper to the side, write an 8, you'll have an infinity. Okay, any question on this? You know where the vertex and the intercepts are? This should be easy, and you should easily finish this, and if you didn't finish your graphs on the pink sheet, you should get all of that done today in class.